Does this look funny? Does that look silly? Otherwise, it's going to be up here. All right, here's your microphone.
Oh, heck, I always forget.
Mine has nowhere to go, so I'm going to...
You don't have any pockets, do you?
I have nothing. So
Will
I'll
that
just
stay
say,
there, you think?
yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Thank you for all your help.
Silas. We ready?
I think we're ready.
You guys ready to rock and roll? Good morning. Brandy, are we early?
No, it's 10:01.
Okay. Well, that means there should be about 10 agents coming in the next 5 minutes.
Yes. There's still front row seating. I don't know what I got to do.
Why do they stay back?
I don't know.
Is it weird? How so?
Why is it weird?
So it's not the spit zone. No, you won't kick me. I'll kick you back. Joanna would love for somebody to sit beside her. Is it? Yeah. I can see that.
You never know. We might do that one day.
For Friday's game, is what I read.
Lonnie's got great seats.
Oh,
For what? Yeah. The Cardinal tickets go on the open market. That pays for about a third of the season typically, or a fourth of the season. We only have like 15 games or 12 games or something like that.
all right, team. Let's go ahead and get started. For all you back, did you guys sit in the back of the classroom too? Back of the church? You're just back row.
Silas,
back
you
row
were in the
sitters?
back.
Back of the church. Yes. I heard about your kind. I was always on the front row. All right, of
Maybe
course.
we need to revamp the seating. Maybe we do the rows this way.
Yeah.
See if that.
Or we
does
just
it.
pull the door shut and whoever's in the room.
Right. Close those.
All right. Well, let's start off with something good. Who's got something good you can share with us? Steve, what do you got?
So my little brother had their first kid on Mother's Day, actually.
Nice.
Okay.
7.5 pounds. Of course, my wife and I kind of chuckled because our youngest was the smallest at 9'6".
Okay.
Ooh.
Big babies.
Okay. What was the largest?
Our oldest was 10'7".
Oh my God.
Bless your wife. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
It's a lot of
that's
babies.
impressive.
Very good.
Tell us something good. What do we got, guys? Let's go, Southland. You set some records. We'll talk about that later. Chop, chop. What do you got, Nanette?
We had a wonderful experience at the Donald McDonald House on that day. And we had a great group that came out and we all helped work together, had some fun. There was some shenanigans going on.
Nah.
As well as,
Share.
what happens at the Ronald McDonald House stays.
Well played.
Yep.
Well played.
Yep. Maybe next year you'll know. Very good. Who else? Who else has got something good? I know there's good stuff going on. John?
So my third out of 4 kids graduated Thursday. So yeah, hard to do.
One left. We got one left.
Yeah, I got one left, man.
Yeah, me too.
Life will get good for him.
Our second out of 3 graduated on Friday, so we have one left. Oh,
Nice.
dear. You too? You had to graduate.
All 3 done. Yep.
Doesn't it feel like it's a good feeling? It feels like you just got them across the finish line.
You hear what she said?
What?
He's pregnant. Everything.
Nobody's.
No babies?
No, babe.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
They made it through high school.
Oh my gosh. Hey. What else? What else? Graduations are fun. New babies are fun. What else?
Any good business stories? Anybody have anything? Success? Yep.
Yes. So we just finished our inspections and we're moving to close. They had asked for a new roof. I had my roofer go out there and say there's nothing wrong with that roof, and I didn't know how that was gonna go. And so anyway, they're taking it and we're moving forward as is. It was awesome. And then my Morning View house just went under contract this morning, so
Hey,
at a good price. So I was
Good.
just so thrilled. for
Fantastic.
that is good.
Both of them.
Good.
Good job. Good listings work, don't they? We'll talk about that in a
Yes.
second. Yep.
Ryan.
I want to brag on a couple
against some of the transactions we're in right now. One is Trisha Henson. She put a fantastic offer together for us down in Tuscany and Peculiar on a listing, and just been amazing to work with, smooth and seamless because we communicate at a super high level, and she just does a great job. So I want to commend her. She's not in the room right now, but she'll watch this. So if you're not familiar with her, please do. And then also want to commend James. Well, this morning we're wrapping up a transaction that, you know what, wasn't super easy. There was some things that we had to work on, but we know we have a great team. And he was really busy one weekend, so we had a showing assistant actually, which was John, show the house.
Role reversal. I like that.
Salesmanship, he got under contract though while James was out of town goofing off or whatever. But anyway, great job to this team right here. Again, there were some hurdles there, and maybe with another brokerage that would have been a lot more difficult, or maybe not got to the finish line. These guys, they saw it through the whole way, and I went to them.
Yeah, give it up for those guys. That's a good hire, James. Good job.
Rusty.
We had an in-house transaction in Raleigh up there. We had some fun little hurdles that we went through on that one
Did you?
too, but we both made it to the finish line. She was very gracious
It's my house.
in helping. Yeah. She was very gracious in helping this young couple that has been searching for a home. So finally we'll be able to get them.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Good job. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I'll lob one out there real quick.
Yeah.
Todd and I, our father passed, as you guys know. We had his funeral and all those fun things Saturday. The outpouring of text, emails, social media. I think we had 18 or 20 of our agents come to his funeral, and most of you guys probably haven't met him. We just were totally blown away. Wouldn't you agree, Todd?
100%. We got to share some shenanigans that Lonnie and I pulled as children growing up, and honor my dad. Thank you guys very much for coming in. If you were there at the graveside, it was pretty cool. I've never been involved in a military graveside experience where they handed the flag to my mom. It was a pretty awesome experience.
Yeah. One of my dad's quick real estate stories, I won't spend too much on it, but you guys, you go through certain subdivisions where the houses kind of look the same. Has anybody ever seen that? There's this one little stretch in Foxhaven where the builder built all these ranches on walkout lots. And it's just like boom, 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 boom. Well, 20 years ago, Todd, myself, and my dad we had a trainer, and he was in the basement of one of those houses. So you walk in his house, you go down to the basement, you start workouts, right? So the three of us would work out at 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was, and it was just wonderful. And my dad's military, right? Former military. Ryan, you guys are on time. You ever see Ryan walk into this meeting late? No, it's not how they roll. And my dad's the same way. I mean, Todd and I might get there late, but he was there. So one day, my dad shows up like 20, 25 minutes late, in which we're a little concerned because, again, he's getting a little older. But anyway, Dad finally shows up, starts his workout, and didn't say much. We're like, well, that's weird. So about a week later, we were talking to the trainer, and he goes, hey, do you know what happened last week when your dad was late? And we're like, no. And he goes, well, I do. And we're like, well, what happened? And he goes, I was talking to the neighbor next door, and did I mention all the houses kind of look the same? My dad, instead of walking into the house with the workout place, he walked into the neighbor's house while they were having breakfast. But if you ever met my dad, he's pretty comfortable in most situations, and stuff just works out for him. It's crazy. Dad walks in, Todd told me this part, he goes, Dad walks in and sees these people there at the kitchen table, and my dad goes, you guys work out here too? Not realizing he was in the wrong house. And then, of course, the reason he was 25 minutes late, or whatever it was, is it turns out he sold the people the house and got into an extended conversation. I'm certain he was trying to get him to list it. No question. And Todd and I are convinced he came out with at least 2 referrals. Okay? My dad was doing the 2 way before we started talking about this stuff. But yeah.
Let's go on in.
Walk right in.
But if you heard me, Todd, myself, and my sister speak at the funeral, which if you've never eulogized a family member, it's quite an undertaking. But when we speak about, I lost my train of thought. Todd, where was I going with that? No idea.
I mean, you had me, Christy, and you
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah. I forgot. Anyway, I'll get.
One thing I would like to add on to that is that my son Connor is a professional singer, and he actually does it for a living, and he's trained classical and all that stuff. And he sang to his grandpa, and it was a tough thing to watch my own kid do that when I can't keep my shit together, and my kid's over there just belting songs out, playing guitar. It was a pretty cool experience.
He did a wonderful job.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
At Grayside, he did American Beautiful. Something like that.
Yeah.
God bless
God bless
America.
America, yes, we did. At the Grayside.
Yeah.
They're knocking it out. So, I mean, he's impressed me over the years with a lot of great stuff, and that one's pretty. He's always compartmentalized and, sing for your grandfather and warn him at the same time.
And when you're going through this, you guys, many of you guys, in fact, we've went through some of these things together. I know Sandy and Ryan, and I could just go on and on. But, when you're going through this and you're trying to get family in town and prepare and go take meetings and all this stuff for the funeral, you kind of want some normalcy. And so about middle of last week, I was just sitting there looking at my phone, hoping one of you guys was going to text me and have like an agent squabble or something, right? And instead, everything was smooth. So you didn't have any squabbles or you didn't feel right reaching out. My guess is it's the latter. But because usually if somebody will text me and go, do you know Jenny? She is something else, and that kind of stuff. So I kind of miss that, the powwowing and the problem solving and all that. But anyway, enough of that. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
I'm sure we can fix that this week. We'll catch up. All
Yeah,
right.
right. We'll double down, right?
All right, we love our vendors, and we want to show our vendors some love. Let's start with Todd. Todd with,
I really have nothing to add.
okay, come on, Todd.
Catch me in a situation
He
where I don't
loves
know what to
this
say,
thing.
because I just talk. Oh, golly, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I was going to say what Lonnie kind of said is just thank you guys so much. It's been a pretty amazing experience. Nothing really big other than just kind of blown away at how supportive everybody has been. And KW, just me, I'm getting cards. And, I'm getting called like, can we give you food? No, but thank you anyway. But anyway, I know that Lonnie shares the saying that it's been a pretty amazing couple weeks, and you guys have just been amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. And all the food and the care committee and all the stuff that kept coming to my house, you guys, it was over the top. So we got a special place here.
Well, I love it how we can go through things as a family. Like if it's, if it's your turn this time, it may be somebody else's turn another time. It all just, it's hard, it hurts, but I'm glad we can go through things together. And the reason I think some of us can reach out the way we did is because we've been through some stuff, and if it's not your turn this time, thank God, and we'll be there for our family who is. So Todd, I'm glad you felt the love, and Lonnie and Amber, and because we care about you guys. Let's see, what about Ron Oliver?
He's back.
Hey, Ron, we missed you.
Well, I missed all of you as well. It's good to be back. I had a little thing going on, but I didn't know, so my condolences. We go to some different offices around KC. You guys are the core, and it's just good to see all of this interaction like this. I had something else I was going to talk about, but it is good to see you guys are like family here, and when we go to other offices, we don't see that, and we're not in other offices as much. So we do appreciate what you guys do for us, Jordan and I. He's out doing a sewer scope now, but this is just pleasant to see how this all operates here, and I'll leave it at that. So
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Ryan and Jordan are good people, and if you haven't used them yet, use them on your next one. You won't be disappointed. How about Apex with Rusty and Ray Lynn?
Yay. 2 agents.
2 agents, yeah.
Same here. We've been able to do some deals together in-house. So with Laura, we were able to do a deal. With Ron, we had them come out. We had amazing representation from them. We had the client come back and say, hey, your people missed something. And I'll be, gosh darn, I was able to go in there and pull up that report and be like, how you like those apples? So that felt really good. Trisha Henson and her husband Anthony is helping on a transaction that I'm doing personally. So just keeping it here, and we too go to a bunch of other brokerages, and it is 100% different here in this office than it is out there. So I know you guys don't always get to see that, so be thankful that we are a huge team, a big family, and it's greatly appreciated. But from Apex, we thank you for your business and excited to have a successful year this year.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Thank you, both. Nice thing to say.
Very good. Any other vendors that I'm missing? I don't see, but I'm sure they're busy. So, and Lisa's normally here, so I'm not sure. We'll have to go check on her. She's in a closing. Okay, we love that. Okay. All right, here's our calendar coming up this week. And I'll talk about a lot of these later. Want to highlight Sold Mastermind. That's something we don't always talk about. It's always a standing class on every Thursday. So Nanette, here's your warning, girl.
I got it on my.
I know you do. I know you do. But we want to see more people on there and engage on that. So don't forget Soul Mastermind. It's on Zoom. It's easy to tap into. Join us on Thursday. I'll talk about everything else in a minute. Buyers, listings, and open houses. Who's got some listings coming on you want to tell us about? We love in-house deals, so tell us what you got. Silas.
I've got one in Portland, it's on 10 acres, it was built last year, 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,400 square feet, it's on a slab. It's on a little bit of gravel, but I don't know, 200 yards, so not bad at all. But, and that's on Streamless now, and it'll be live Friday. So
Okay.
pictures will be up there.
What was the price on that, bud?
Oh, 14.
Okay. That's 10 acres.
410 and Holden. Okay, Steve.
I've got an investment property that I'm looking for a buyer, has gone Section 8 in the past. It's 4410 Myrtle in Kansas City. It's a 2-1, there is a 3rd bedroom that does not have a closet in it. So that could be a big bonus there for people as well. That's 129.
Okay. All right. Who else has a listing? Ryan.
I've got a couple, I've got one coming on this Friday in Harrisonville, it's on 5 acres, 4 bedroom, 2 bath. It's a 2-car garage with a tandem 3rd car in it as well. The house is 7 years old, it's beautiful, just off of 7 and 49 roughly. And that one's coming on at 560. And photos should be done tomorrow, I believe. And then we've got another one coming live in Belton, if you got somebody looking at Belton, next Friday. It's 201 North Cleveland, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it's a raised ranch. And they've done a ton of renovation on it. They remodeled the whole kitchen, dining area, the flooring's all new throughout the house as well. The basement is finished also, and it's got a massive detached shed or garage, if you will, 16 by 16 in the backyard, and it is coming on at 285. So that acreage? That one's a double, no, city lot, yeah, it's in Concord.
We have a 5-bed, 2-bath ranch at 11312 East 48 Harrison, Kansas City. That's gonna come on Friday. Pictures will be up today. Brand new roof, just got the exterior all painted as well, and that's gonna be on at 290.
Nice.
And it's
Good.
solar, that has a solar system on it. I think the average is like $15 or 10 or $15 a month for the whole house all year. So
Nice.
hopefully that will help. That's where the price variance is in that neighborhood. You look at the neighborhood, you're like, but when you factor it all in, it makes sense.
Okay. Teresa.
It's coming in early June, and it's in Woodbridge neighborhood, South Kansas City, between, well, right off Holmes. And it is huge. It's like this French country type home. It has 3 bedrooms on the main, 3 bedrooms up, 2,800 square foot of upgrade, and some main level laundry, main level half bath, in addition to the other 3 baths. And then, it also has a full unfinished basement below. And it backs up to kind of a green space that's really charming.
What's the address on that?
I don't have the address in front of me, and it is gonna be 425.
Okay. In Woodbridge.
Joanna's got a buyer, just FYI. Sold.
All right. Who else? I saw another hand. Yes.
We've got
Caitlin.
3 new constructions left in Adrian, at 259. One of them, we're already under contract on, it's gonna be done early, so we're gonna do a couple open houses on it. If you have buyers possibly interested in a new construction at a good price, send them down to Adrian. Have them walk through, we'll probably do that in 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
What are the details on the new construction? What are the floor plans? That-
Yep, I can send them over to you. It's a ranch. They, about 1,300 square feet. Open kitchen, living concept, granite countertops.
3 bedroom, 2 bath.
3 bed, 2 bath.
Slab
Closet,
or basement?
slabs.
Slab, okay.
There's slab homes, yeah.
Excellent.
1-car garage or 2?
2.
2-car garage. Guys, that's 3-2 on slab down in Adrian. 2, so for 260,000.
30 minutes?
30 minutes.
30? Yeah,
40
Jake-
for most of
Jake's
us.
driving 45 minutes at least.
Oh.
Not 30 for me. Jake drives like a grandpa, but yeah, 30 minutes.
Nothing wrong with that. But Jake gets better mileage.
Jake gets way better mileage, Yeah.
Here's a great comparison, Lonnie. I just closed on that same house in Lee Summit for $310,000.
Yes, basically same house, Lee Summit, 310, 320. You're going to see that.
It was 25 years old, so, but basically same square footage.
Wow.
3.2 on, yeah.
What about some of these first-time home buyers? Maybe they don't want to go that far south, and many don't. That's cool. But maybe if they can get something brand spanking new and shiny, maybe drive them down there, and then they may look at it differently and go, that extra 20 minutes of commute isn't ideal, but we could, for something new, that's a great trade-off. You get a brand new house, guys, your maintenance should be almost nothing for that first 5 years of home ownership. So whereas you're buying something 20 or 30 years old, we're going to have normal big ticket maintenance items usually ahead of us. So think differently, guys. Just because they say they want to these particular towns, don't hesitate to go, hey, I know this is further out than you said you wanted to go, but the value to drive further, I wanted you to at least know about. If they say, yeah, too far out, that's cool, but do your job.
Yeah.
USDA zero down out there.
USDA, right? Yeah.
Still Cass County, Adrian?
Nope, Bates.
Bates.
Great, okay.
Low taxes, right? Pretty low taxes down there.
Nice. Check. All right. Last
Somebody
chance.
else.
Yep,
Marcia.
Marcia.
I have a house coming on in Stony Creek next week. It's a 6-bedroom, 5-bath. It's recently updated. All the kitchen and the bathrooms been recently remodeled. It has the basement is finished with a full kitchen, a media room, and it does have an in-ground pool. And that'll be on the market next week for around 5 months.
Nice.
Lee Summit. It's on my street.
That's a great listing. Great listing.
That's a great listing, Marcia. Good job.
Oh, it's kind of below my door, but
Her $5 million listing.
Yeah, everything's going to seem small from now on, Marcia, when you did the $5 million deal, okay? We got
All
a couple.
right. What about, you got something?
Yeah, we have a Grandview. I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. We got a Grandview duplex. It looks like it's about ready to launch. By the way, if you guys get into multifamily listings, there are a unique set of challenges with those. So, how do you handle the tenant situation? In fact, I'll talk about that a little later. But there's a unique set of challenges, and you might as well address them right from the get-go. Otherwise, it's going to be a complete mess. But we have that going on. Looks like it's going to come out at $195, rents for $825 a side, fully leased right there off Main Street in Grandview. So ranch style, low maintenance, that sort of thing. Had a meeting over the weekend, which was so nice to have normalcy again. Lady called me, hey, we need to meet, lost her brother. Family owned a house in Belton since 1969. So same house. They've lived out of state for years, but they've always had family in the house. So we came in and created a marketing strategy. But this is going to be a cool one. They wanted to make it cute, but not go over the top. But it's good. It's 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, raised ranch for $239,900, and that's becoming hard to find. And we'll have new hardwoods refinished in there. It'll be nice and clean. But they've really maintained the house well. HVAC roof. It's got the thermal windows. For somebody that wants an entry-level house under $250,000, and I hear you guys asking for that stuff, this is one that you might want to consider when we get it there. So probably go pre-MLS tomorrow or the following day.
And that's in Belton.
Belton, yeah, on South Street.
Okay.
So that, your duplex, is that 195 for both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. What about buyer needs? Anybody got a buyer need? Something you're looking for and can't find? Yep.
40 acres, 60-mile radius.
Okay. 40 acres.
Just land or,
Land.
okay, land only? Yeah.
Would they do 78 acres? Depends on price. 480, I think is what we're at. Okay.
Okay. There we
It's in
go.
Berwick, it's right behind them.
James, what you got?
250 FHA, Harrisonville, Pleasant Hill, East Summit, anywhere in that just close area.
Belton?
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Had to throw that out
Got
there.
refinished floors.
It's hard to be.
All right, John.
It's one of those buyers that says that and then they get really picky. It's okay, but have a pool, but, yeah. We had one other listing I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
It's an investment opportunity up in Kansas City, and we're gonna get the roof redone and gutters. But it's a 2-1. It's about 1,100 square feet. It's up off Garfield, which is kind of a frontage to 7149, running right through there. But it's in great shape. The foundation on that home, it's a 19 teen, I'd have to check. It's like 1910, 1915 home build, but the foundation's phenomenal. So as it went through the years, that's really rare. And it's a full basement, which is even more rare. So that's all good. Electrical panel's been upgraded. The interior inside still has some life and plaster, but it's in good shape. The wiring's been upgraded in about 2/3 of it. And then with the new roof, it'll come on at 135.
Okay.
Yeah, next Friday.
All right. Yep.
I've got buyers that are older and they're looking for under 250 ranch in Raymore, Belton, whatever. Morning View is a little too high for them, and so it's very hard to find anything that's a ranch in Belton, Raymore, Belton, that's 250 or
Sure.
less.
Sure.
Sure is.
So if anybody has something.
James.
One thing too about the fire, you can do 55 plus, but just would like the fence.
Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. All right. Anything else? Let's put it in the Facebook group. Culture Committee, we kind of already hit on this. And so I thought I would show you the reel that we made from Red Day. It has sound. Sorry, I can't make it bigger, but. We're making protein balls, is that what that is?
Yeah, protein balls and chocolate chip cookies there.
Is this shareable on the KW Facebook page? On the main page?
Yes, I posted the link, Joanna, and you can download this and all of the photos.
Okay.
And it's branded to Southland, the one that I put on our Facebook page.
So they had fettuccine Alfredo at their place.
Yeah.
And then a shout out to Texas Roadhouse, they donated our whole meal inside of the Jones Mercy Hospital. We asked for meals for 50, they probably gave close to 100.
Wow.
So we left all of the leftovers and everything there.
Nice.
And the families and patients as well were really thankful for that. We heard that a lot. I'm sure you guys did at your houses as well.
Very good. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So if you were a part of that, yes, Nanette.
If I could shout out to Francesca, she
Yeah.
was the head chef at our facility, and she is a well-oiled machine. She had us. I want to know.
You were marching.
And her food was great.
And it was amazing food. So it was the true Italian, homemade, heavy cream and butter, chicken Alfredo. So it was
Very good. Yes.
And they don't get a lot of that, so just so everybody knows, anybody at any time can go and sign up and cook a meal. The only requirements are you either have to take the ingredients and cook in their kitchen, or you have to have it catered from a commercial kitchen. But on their website, and I can post all that information as well, Shelby did a great job of posting in her post, but you can sign up breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's, I think, 5 houses to choose from, and they just don't get a lot of home-cooked meals there. Like, one of the gentlemen that we spoke to was so thankful, and he's like, I'm never gonna eat a chicken tender again, because they've actually been there a year.
Oh, wow.
It was, he was actually I think the father of the Lee Summit wrestler, who got diagnosed with cancer about a year ago. And sadly, he actually passed away either yesterday or the day before, but, anyway, so he's like, you either eat chicken tenders from the cafeteria, or you pay $600 a week in DoorDash or, Uber Eats, things like that. So they were very, very, very thankful.
Absolutely.
Look for more opportunities later this year.
Awesome. Very good.
Great job.
All right. Thank you, Culture Committee. Thank you, Stephanie, for leading that for us and made it super easy for us to show up and execute. So let's do it again next year. Let's do it again next year. All right. Here's our calendar. If you don't have one of these, this is on Facebook, or you can grab one in the copy room up there. Check out what we got going on. Our Education Committee works really hard to put up some good stuff on there. And so I think you'll find some good stuff. Jake Keith is teaching a class on Wednesday, so tomorrow. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so with the event, oh, I gotta go front. I'm really good at public speaking.
You got to hold this so people at home can hear you.
Okay.
So with the investment club coming up, I figured we'd start kind of the basics, how to set ourselves up to start investing in properties ourselves. So this is going to be kind of basic finances, going over a budget because we don't have a salary, trying to like put ourselves on a salary, actually like writing out our budget. So bring your phone or your bank statements or something tomorrow because we're going to be filling out like a budget and kind of getting you guys set up for financial success. So
That's great, Jake. Good
Appreciate
job.
that.
Who's
right.
going to be able to make that tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Cool. Let's get a good turnout. I think the conversations around that will be really interesting.
I agree.
Really interesting.
I agree. And we all want to build wealth. You say you want to build wealth. Let's get in here and let's learn how to do it. So appreciate Jake. And Jake, you do have a background in finance. Don't you have a degree in finance? So this is kind of in your wheelhouse. Okay.
So I still like that.
Yeah.
Flirt with that a little bit still.
Very good. So he kind of knows what he's talking about. So be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Swallowed wrong. Coming up, we have lots of training. This is something put on by, you'll see this every now and then in once a month I put it in our Facebook group. So this is the Top Gun Mastermind. This is put on by our region. David Barroso is this gentleman right here. He's our regional director. And then this is Mike Dooley. I'm not sure what his official role is, but he definitely is pretty involved with our region. They are always trying to bring value to our agents. And this guy here is Dave Nations, and he's going to be talking on Friday about more creating wealth through real estate. So kind of a theme we're on here. So appreciate that. That's Friday at 1:30 on Zoom. Go to the Facebook group. It'll be there tomorrow with a link to register to the Zoom. Yes.
Real quick, if you guys don't know, Dave, super dynamic guy. That guy hustles. He is a worker, and anybody that comes into his circle, it's pretty neat how he runs his business. He's created a lot of ancillary businesses within his business, and he's created so many opportunities for all his team members within his group, so that you don't just work in the real estate arena. You may work in another type of business as well, and managing that. So
Nice.
all these different arms and all these different opportunities. So this is definitely a guy to watch right here. It's pretty cool thing.
Very good.
He's pulled all his family in, like they do a ton of flips and renovations and stuff too. So anyway, that's definitely worth watching on.
Very good. It's free training. It's on Zoom. Yep.
Yeah, and guys, we're bringing this to you. You never know, especially you guys that are first 5 years in the business, younger people, you never know who's going to say that one thing that causes you to look at everything else differently. And it could be the same thing Brandy said, I said, Darren said, whatever, but you hear from a different source and it just kind of clicks, okay? So these things, last I checked, they're free,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Well, we pay for them, but nonetheless, they're free to you. Sign up for these things. Listen in on these things. You can do it at home in your jammies. Of course, if you're in your jammies at 1:30 on a Friday, we got other issues to discuss. But plug in on some of these things. Not all of them will deliver the things that maybe you're looking for, but any one might.
Yes.
I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
All right. So as you can tell, we try to bring a lot of value your way through education on a variety of topics, a variety of speakers, a variety of just what we try to bring a well-rounded plethora of education opportunities. So check that one out. Another education opportunity. How many of you use dot loop templates and you use them at a high level? I see a couple hands. A couple hands.
Define high, define high.
Like they practically write themselves. All right. All right, we do, if you're not using it at a high level, or if you're kind of doing it at a high level, or want to know more about how to use dot loop templates, how many of you just love retyping everything? Keller Williams Southland Partners on, or whatever it is.
4 or 5 times.
Oh yeah, 4 or 5 times on every, it's fun. Or we do a template and we can learn how to put templates together for you and cut your time of working in your contracts in half. So come Monday, hear from Hannah. She's teaching that class on how to set up your dot loop templates. So yeah. Wealth Building Club is coming up here soon. I know we keep talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it. That's Wednesday, May 21st. So not tomorrow, but next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Put that on your calendar.
Yeah, those of you that were there last time, plug in, and this is round number 2. We're going to get a little more intentional as to focusing on how to acquire these properties, where we find these properties, the process of acquiring the properties. So we'll talk a little bit about REO, in other words, foreclosure, stuff on the courthouse steps. We have a few agents that chase those regularly and have kind of a unique skill set on that. So, at the end of the day, where do we get these properties? How do we find them? If we just look in the MLS, it's kind of tough sledding out there for investment properties. But there's some strategies behind that we can all kind of mastermind around. So we'll spend about 90 minutes going through that we'll have Nathan, Jake, and Devon. So we'll have three really people that are, elbow deep in this part of the business. So plug and play. We'll have cocktails afterwards at Johnny's. Brandy's buying.
Sounds good. I'm bringing his credit card.
Yeah.
If you didn't make the first one, you can go to the second?
Yes, of course. Yeah, nobody's
always,
shut out.
Always.
Nobody's-
And there is a private Facebook group for this group as well. We'll introduce that. Not a lot going on in there just yet, but there will be. So it's something you want to be a part of. All right. Well, I actually have a few things I want to talk about. I love mindset. Mindset is what has changed my life. It's changed the trajectory of my life and my business. And so I love talking about it. And I want to mention, has anybody ever seen somebody that has a car like this? When you go ride with them and they're like, hold on. Or they're throwing stuff in the back. Or you're sitting on, McDonald's bags.
If this is your car, do not put your clients in there.
I
Have them follow
got
you.
these pictures out of the parking lot. I don't know whose they are. No, I think we've all seen cars like this. Hopefully it was never your car. But can you imagine the type of person that drives that car? Can you just imagine in your head, get a visual idea of what this person might look like and how they might live their life? Maybe this is their home. But if it's not, can you imagine what their home looks like? Right? I think you get, so we all know somebody with a messy car, and the thing that holds true is that if this is how they handle their car, this is probably how they handle their life. The way they show up here is how they show up in life. And the energy that they bring to cleaning or not cleaning the car is the same energy that they bring to life. And so hopefully this isn't your car. Trust me, there's times that I'm like, I'm a little self-conscious. I mean, when you got kids and you're running and gunning and you're just going, and we're realtors, right? So you might have MLS sheets all over your car. You might have, a box of Cheez-Its that you eat in between showings or whatever you got. I get it. But if this is just how you live, then, hopefully, can you imagine the person has a car like this? Can you imagine they might look a little different? They might carry themselves a little different. They might show up in their world a little different because they keep their car a little different. And so how we show up in life is how we do one thing is how we do all the things. And my whole point here is to say that how we show up in practice is how we're going to show up under pressure. And this is, if anybody played baseball, I've got boys that played baseball, I played softball, but you see these guys lined up, they're just ready to take ground balls over and over and over again. They're just ground balls. Or they're batting practice over here, just one after the other. The coach is just lobbing it, and they're swinging and swinging and swinging. Why do they do that? They do that so that when the game is on, they're prepared. They're ready. If they don't do this, how well are they going to show up in the game? They're not. They're not going to do so well. And you can imagine by the time these guys are this old, or they've made it to the major leagues, many of them have been playing for decades already. It would be very easy to go, you know what, I've already got this. I know how to field a ground ball. I know how to hit. I know how to pitch. I know how to do this. It'd be really easy to go, I've had enough practice. I'm good. But they don't. They keep showing up. There's no coach around that's going to skip practice and go, you know what, you're right. We've done a lot of practicing. Let's just play the games. But in real estate, a lot of us, we do that. When we're new, we come to class. When we're just starting out, we don't know a lot. So we're in the classes all the time. But then there becomes a time, and I've seen it, I've done it myself, but I've definitely seen it as a coach and as a leader. I've watched people that are in here, they're star students, they've reserved seats in the classroom, and then all of a sudden, after a couple transactions, they're good. and they don't come to class anymore. They don't engage the Market Center much anymore. They don't come to team meetings anymore. And I just want to caution you, don't ever think that you don't need the practice, because how we show up in practice is how we show up in our business. How we show up in here is how we show up out there. Are you engaged? Are you practicing? Are you honing your skills over and over and over again? Because you are the CEO of your business. And how do you show up for your business? How are you showing up for your people? How are you showing up for yourself and your clients, but your family? How are you showing up? Think about that. I'm not going to call on you, not going to pick on anybody. I just want you to be reflective for a moment and go, am I happy with how I'm showing up? Could I be doing better? Is there something I need to work on? Because some of us are having a lot of success, and I hear Lonnie's going to be mentioning that about breaking records and doing well. I have to think that's because of the work we did in previous seasons, the practice we put in before, the time we spent in this classroom, the time we spent working on our business and working on ourselves. Now, the thing is, if we're not careful, it will slow down. It may even dry up on you if you're not careful. So stay engaged, keep practicing, keep showing up, keep learning. Here's some words that a CEO, you guys are the CEO of your real estate business. These are some words, just random words of a good CEO. Are you prepared and intentional and strategic, present, driven, committed, organized, clear, confident, proactive, all these kind of words? And so if not, the cool thing is we can change that. We can change it now. We can change it today. And so if you're not happy with how you're showing up, get back in here. Don't stray too far from the Market Center. This is a family. This is, I believe, our secret sauce to what helps our agents flourish out there. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So remember the car, that person in the messy car. That person, messy car, messy life. Messy everything, messy interactions. I bet their calendar, if they even have one's messy, I bet it's messy all the way through. The person that keeps a neat and tidy car shows up neat and tidy, shows up on time, shows up present, shows up prepared, focused, driven, ready to go. That person, it's consistent. They do everything that way. So I see a lot of heads nodding and shaking. So I do think this resonates. It resonates with me. It's a good reminder for me. And it is a bold law. What's the bold law about this? It's not this, but how. Yep, how you participate in here is how you participate out there, everywhere, all the way. So, but this is a common quote. How you do anything is how you do everything. All right, that's what I had. You want to talk about that for half a second?
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Good job, Brandy. That was really good. Really, really good. By the way, some of you guys, we're in real estate, and many of the people in your families look at you as the person that's footloose, fancy-free, and has a lot of free time. Would you guys agree with that? Trust me, it happens. Teresa, I wish she was here today. She could tell me 100 stories. She's like, well, they know she's selling houses on the weekends, but the flexible schedule. So they're asking, taking. You have to set the boundaries on what you're willing to do. Like I said, if we wanted to improve productivity in our office, people would have to be in the office 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and the productivity would go through the roof.
Yep.
We're not going to do that. We're all safe here. Okay, don't leave. Reese Nichols. It's just a crazy business. All right, let's talk about these knuckleheads. This guy, Lonnie Branson, is now officially signed up for Agent Kickstart.
All right.
Joanna.
Yes.
Yes.
Woo!
O'Connor's.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah. Carrie's on vacation, but she's in, right?
She's in.
Okay. Tony, where's Tony? I can't wait till I get to the first one who has yet to do it. Dave, you're good?
I got the list. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where's Tim? Tim?
Oh, MIA.
He wasn't signed up yesterday, so please text him and heckle him. Chad. Yep. John Moodingham. Oh, all right, Johnny. That's okay. You have a massive real estate business. You get one extra week when you're multiple six figures. That's how it goes. Ryan. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Belton kid. Can't read my writing. Caitlin, right? With the misspelled. Good job. Mickey. Mickey, not here.
Not here.
Let's go with no.
Let's
You guys
go
are-
with no.
by the way, these are staying here, maybe forever. Silas, you're in now?
Yes.
You
I don't
sure?
know when she printed that out, but I don't know.
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah, see, I was in it about 10.
Okay, good job. James. Got a boy. Jesse Brown. We'll check with her. She's staying here till proven otherwise. And Josh, I think it's Fife, right?
Yeah, I
Or
think so.
Falke? Fifes?
It was 5.
Where are the Fifes? Is he in?
I don't think.
Fife did it sitting here in the office last week.
Oh yeah, he said it'd take 5 minutes.
He showed me how to do it, yeah.
He told us how much time it took him.
He is.
Perfect.
He is on it. Yep.
Okay, is there anybody here today that is not signed up through Agent Kickstart? It's okay if you're not. Raise your hand. What? You guys have so much free time. Oh, we get to add some names. This is fantastic. We're just going to put the Apex chicks.
And I did pin this in Facebook. It is pinned to the top, so it's featured right
It took
there.
me 90 seconds, guys. 90 seconds. And I actually ended up doing the first module or two, if I
There we
remember
go.
right. So that was kind of interesting. Again, really important. Was there anybody else that isn't signed up yet? And it's cool if you're not. Just please do it.
By the way, she's coming. She's the one that's coming and doing this for training us for those who want to start a team.
Oh, perfect. There you go. Yeah, by the way, she has lots of horror stories on that too. She doesn't sugarcoat it. She'll tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly with team building. Important, guys, this is going to be foundational for our office. We're going to be talking about the information in some of these modules. And if you're not engaged, so if the challenge is we law about, hey, guys, try to hit these 2 modules for next week, and then we'll talk about it either at team meeting, mastermind call, maybe even a lunch and learn kind of thing. If you're not signed up, it's kind of hard to go do that, right? The average module takes almost, what would you say on average?
8 minutes.
Okay, we'll go with 8 minutes. So these are 15-minute assignments to develop conversations around and things like that. We're seeing other offices. My buddy that owns one in Little Rock, he was kind of sharing the stories, and he's like, it took us a while to get going, but once we got some momentum on this, now people talk about it all the time, and now it's pretty much, hey, what module is that in an Agent Kickstart? That's where we're going. Just trust me, we'll get there. And as we bring new people into the organization, it can't be people pulling on Brandy 24/7 or Caesar and myself. That doesn't work. Darren, it's got to be, here's where you start, and then we'll support you from there. Instead of the other way around. That's what that's going to look like. So as we grow, continue to grow, we will have to have that kind of outlook on things. So I really think it's going to be our foundation for productivity. All right, let's talk about something kind of cool. The industry right now is flat. I will tell you that in Kansas City, sales are flat. It's a slightly lower. Units are kind of flat, but volume is up just a little bit because prices are still up. So last month, in the month of April, I'll just tell you what last year we did. We were pretty excited with 2024. You guys did 10.3 million in listings taken volume. Probably the most important statistic we have. We get paid on volume, and listings are the key. List to exist, right? List to last. You guys have heard that. My dad just say it over and over again. You set the all-time record for April. Instead of 10.3 million last year, 16.2. How about that? The absolute most important thing, last year, 2024, gross commission income was $672,000, and we were celebrating with that, 672, 726, a new all-time record.
Yes.
Yay, give it up, come on.
Good job.
And then how about the owners, those knuckleheads? Guess what happens when we start selling more houses and setting records? There's more profit, which is kind of cool. So the owners, we had $25,000 in owner profit, and then total profits right about $37,000. So that's legit. That's a good, and we got to make our hay in the spring. Would you guys agree? It's just how business works. Okay. Investment Club, we talked a little bit about that. Please participate and get in there. Ask questions. We're going to try to be a little bit more narrower. The first meeting was more just touch, a bunch of stuff. We'll start narrowing that in meeting after meeting. The meeting after this, we'll probably spend a lot of time on financing options and what that looks like and so on and so forth. You guys would be surprised all the different outlets to be able to get financing for different things, including just partnerships. There are a lot of people out there that don't have the time to find these, but would be happy to fund them for a nice little return on their money. So there's all kinds of stuff like that going on. One of the other things, when you're co-oping with agents and you like them, obviously share with Brandy. Not everybody's going to kind of fit for what we do. But this agent kickstart thing is another tool that a lot of these agents, experienced or new, could use in their business. So we're also using that as kind of something that could help attract talented people. We're not looking for non-talented people, okay, or cul-de-sac talent. We're looking for talented people that also check these boxes. And by the way, there's a lot of people doing good volume, and you see their signs everywhere, and they don't fit here, okay? That's a no. That's a hard pass. Sorry about that. We might be able to convert them into decent people and do things the right way, but it's a lot of work. So we'd have to really talk about that. Okay, let's talk about productivity and kind of what's going on here in the office. Being out for essentially 2 weeks, I was in and out. I felt like I got nothing done. And so I'm like, all right, I came in last Thursday. I'm like, I need to just kind of get my life back as far as real estate. Basically, guys, this business comes down to blocking and tackling. Where's James? He's here somewhere. Is James here? Football player.
Back there.
Football player, right? Blocking and tackling kind of important? Okay. Our business is blocking and tackling. We got to get back to some of the basics. I know you guys want the coolest website. I know you want all these things on social media and all that kind of stuff, but we've just got to get back to the very, very basics. So guess what I started back on? My do the two. Okay. For me, this is what moves the needle the fastest if I know I've made the proper number of touches on a given business day. Okay. And this doesn't lie because I write it down because I'm a dinosaur. I'm not going to put it out there in the cloud or any of that horse crap. I actually am going to have a piece of paper so I can also look back and see what I did the previous day and if there's a follow-up needed. Okay. Really, really important. By the way, in that 2-day period, we had 2 new buyers come into our world and 1 seller. So it can be effective and somebody else to follow up on. So don't hesitate to get back to some of these very, very basics, especially if you struggle with accountability. And almost all you guys that have a head on your shoulders right now are struggling with accountability. You're just not acknowledging it, okay? I'm trying to get more and more people to spend time in the office because what I find is we have fun here, but at the end of the day, usually if you're going to clean up and come into the office for a couple hours, you're going to put your head down and get some things done. Whereas if you sit at home or do anything else, it's 50-50 whether that might happen. Is anybody else guilty of that when they're at home? Okay, yeah, and the rest of you need to be raising your hand. So we're trying to help you guys with the basics. You guys, my top 40 challenge, many of you guys started to make some progress on that and never quite got it wrapped up. Not sure exactly what you're waiting for, because it is absolutely foundational. The do the two and the top 40 challenge basically work with each other. Once I have my top 40 and I know who they are, then the do the two just has me contacting and touching at a high level within that group. Now I go outside that group, of course, but that group is getting taken care of, okay? That's the group that the bulk of my business comes from. So I am all over those people. You guys get that? So think blocking and tackling a little bit more. And if you're struggling to get some consistency, let's talk about what will get you the consistency. For some of you guys, it might be accountability partners. Dave might need somebody to be able to say, hey, will you hold me accountable to this? Or can we meet up in the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours and let's both just sit down and spend some time working on our business? Nanette, I know you and Sandy from time to time have used each other as accountability partners. All that means is you like each other, sure, but you also know you need somebody to kind of push the other one. Most of you guys have, just like we just proved that with this, which is outstanding. If people raise their hand and say they're going to do it, they don't want to let anybody down. They usually do it more often than not. So any questions on that? Is anybody working? Is anybody still, it's okay if you're not, but do the two. You guys remember that conversation? 2 conversations, 2 texts, and then just a couple acts of kindness. And it could be anything with that. That will move the needle for you a lot. And then how many people still have some work to do on their top 40? Okay? What are we waiting on? All right, there's that. And we've got to figure that out, guys. As you do that, you'll figure out people no longer deserve to be in your top 40. And then you need to replace them with other people over time. And your top 40 might be a top 20 or a top 15 early on. But there's going to be a top of the pyramid that is going to be the key to your financial engine in real estate. And everybody's got to determine what that is. And things can change very quickly in this business. So we've got to know, we got to be making those contacts. I can't tell you, but every week I look in the hot sheet and one of those people listing a house is a former customer of mine. Okay. I just saw one posted the other day. And it was somebody, a Facebook friend of mine, and they were there with a realtor taking a picture. I was a realtor last time taking a picture, right? How did I feel about that? Yeah. Now, part of it. Yeah. Well, you know what? Someone else got in relationship at a higher level than where I was at. but I didn't do anything wrong, and those people are still friends and all that. But someone else got into a higher relationship with those people, and that agent got the last, and it was two pieces of business. Two pieces of business. I know I was joking. Over $1 million combined. That's how this goes. So now those people are still valuable people, but they're probably not in my top 40 anymore. You see how that changes? I won't. See, that's what's saying. I like that. I like that. We got to get back, guys, to do the basics here. We're in the spring of this business. We've set some records. There's some good things going on, but we're going to have to work hard. We did not get the tailwind in the first half of the year that everybody was counting on. Todd, where is he here? Thanks. Did nothing for us on interest rates. Yeah, hot mess express. Yeah, he sucks. I'll go with that. But we may not even have that in the second half of the year. I mean, we'll see. Trump's talking about lower rates, and maybe it will get there. Once that happens, then we'll probably really feel good about ourselves. But right now, we're 3.5 years into a real estate recession. By recession, I mean less and less sales. And we do expect a little bit of a bump up nationally this year, but right now it's looking like flat, but maybe a slight bump up. So nothing. The days of COVID, who was in here selling houses in COVID when everything went, you know what, crazy? Okay. Hey, that was nice, right? We were all feeling pretty good about ourselves. We have agents right now that crushed it, multiple 6 figures and above in COVID, that are not in the business anymore. Okay. That means the market was driving their business, not any fundamentals or anything like that. And the second that's pulled out, we're all exposed. What's that? When the tide goes out, or we find out who's skinny dipping kind of thing. There's some saying about that. So we found out there was a lot of naked people out there. You got it? And they're back, and they're working at Chewy now or wherever, you know. It's just, or they moved their license to one of those things, and now they sell one house a year. Okay, to me that's a shame. We gotta get the fundamentals. You guys got to figure out what is going to cause you to be consistent. Okay, if you've ever gotten into the gym consistently, something got you going, and then once you got going and got some traction, it became kind of the habit. How do we get the habit? How do we get that gym habit, or that good nutrition habit? How do we do that with our business? Sandy, anything to add to that? How do you do it? Tell these people how you do it. You're consistent every year.
Well, how I do it is every now and then when I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I will do it. Whether I'm sitting in the line waiting for my grandson or driving or whatever, I just start calling people. And it kind of works.
Yeah.
And I do it at home most of the time, but if I feel like I'm not, that's what I do.
Many of us, myself included, we wait until we get slow to start getting back into those habits. Why is that? Why does it have to be that way? Yeah, because you're busy. Working on the business or working in it, right? That's working in it is the busyness of inspections and all that kind of stuff, right? Working on it is the lead generation and the long-term play into the business. So we've got to get better at that kind of thing, guys, for consistency. I want to see people more consistent. That's important to me, is just seeing a little bit more consistency. Guys, it is nice to know you have at least a closing a month. I mean, that's in this business, that's not easy to achieve. And then all of a sudden somebody's like, wow, I think I'm going to have 2 closings every month, you know, that kind of thing. And then it gets really, really exciting.
I have realized it's easier to, instead of, like, you don't meet your goal every month, it's harder to push all that into a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's better to be consistent.
Agreed. Okay, let's talk about two topics that you guys are running into a lot. I was looking at the Facebook posts. Does anybody have listings right now that are kind of sitting, or they feel like, man, that would have sold a year ago? Okay. Now here's what happens, and this isn't always the case, but every day that's on the market, the seller has a little bit of, I'm getting rejected, I'm getting rejected, I'm getting rejected. And every time they have a showing and the people don't give them good feedback, or it doesn't go anywhere, they got rejected again. That can weigh in on them. So you're there to pump them back up and let them know this is normal. You become almost like a psychologist of the seller. Okay, it's just how it works. And the better you are at that all is well, the earth is going to be fine, the better they'll do through this process. But this term has anybody ever heard the term external obsolescence? Okay, a lot of our listings in the office that have a lot of days on the market, by a lot I'm going to say 100 and above, they have some version of external obsolescence. I'm going to give you a couple examples of external obsolescence. If you're in a nice subdivision and the houses are all cute, 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 and this one is the one that's on the corner of the busy street, people might not pick it just because of the traffic and the noise and things. So it's a great house, square footage is good, it's got the cool carpet, cool colors and all that, but nobody's picking it. It has external obsolescence with its location. You guys get that? Acreages that are on have a lot of gravel road. You take a pool of buyers that's this big, and now it's this big, because a lot of people just won't live on gravel, okay? Or they want very limited, they want limited gravel. You guys get that? External obsolescence. We have a great acreage listing in our office right now that happens to be sitting close to a highway and a commercial project. So that property in itself, if it was a quarter mile down the road, for lack of a better term, it's gonzo. It's sold a long time ago, but the external features or the external around that house are causing it to sit, okay? So when you walk into these situations, has anybody shown a house like that recently? That you showed it and you're like, wow, I think this, and Annette, since you're not listening, this is you. You just hit me with this. Well, we had some people in Belton look at this cute house in Belton, and it was perfect for them. But when they walked out on the back deck, the people behind, they lived like slobs. It was a pigsty behind there. The house perfect, the external feature took it off the list. So what's that tell us? Will it eventually sell? The answer is yes. But it will take considerably longer because the pool of buyers, instead of it taking, let's just say 10 lookers to create an offer, it might take 100. It might take 150. So that creates the time aspect of things. You guys get that? Really, really important with external obsolescence. And when a property has that, just explain that to people. Just be really honest. And they'll usually be honest with you and go, well, yeah, it wasn't our favorite feature either when we bought it, but. And the but is why they bought it. You've now got to wait for the second but. That's kind of funny. Second but to be able to sell that. What's that? 2 buts. You got to win twice. Yeah, 2 buts. But that's real important because I think you guys are starting to get caught up a little in the pressure of days on the market. And when you have listings that also have that, because you guys will send me your listing, goes, what do you think? Why is this sitting? And all that. And I'll look at it and I go, oh, I know that property. Is that the one that's next to this or that or whatever? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, this tells me the days on market is going to be long in most cases. And you could make a case for it will sell for a little bit less money as well. At the very least, you're going to have to channel and cycle through a ton of buyers to find that one. Any examples of that going on with you guys showing houses or any of your listing? Okay, you just had that? All the cars? That perfect example. Yeah. Yeah. Train tracks, external obsolescence, highway noise.
We just did this with some of our dirt. Some of it was on asphalt and some of it was on gravel. And I took the reins on pricing it because I wanted to make sure it was priced appropriately because the ones on gravel, those will take a little longer to sell usually. So what do? Price them a little bit differently than the ones on asphalt. As amazingly enough, the first 3 that we actually sold were on gravel because those were like a steal of a deal, which then gave us the frontage available to sell off, which was all that was left, which gives us our price that we truly want on that frontage. And so that's a way to be able to structure those things depending on what the land has to offer.
Does anybody have anything right now with external obsolescence that feels like you maybe have that? Yeah. It's cool. Just acknowledge it. Just address it and know. And if the average days on market for a house like that is 45 days, it ain't going to be 45 days for yours most likely. So just be cool with that. But if you'll convey that to the people, it will take your stress level down. It should take their stress level down. Now, one of the challenges you guys are running into is agents right now have never been worse in our industry as far as giving quality and timely feedback. Okay, is anybody having problems with that or is it just me? Okay, and I get pissy about it, guys. Trust me. Yeah, if anybody's showing one of my houses and you don't give me feedback, I'm usually going to message you because I want that. I want to share that with the seller, whether you liked it. And if it smells like cat pee, let us know. Let us bring it on. But we need to go chase that feedback for them. And when you call the agent and they go, oh yeah, they liked it, but gosh, that busy road. Hey, Jenny, again, would you mind? I know you showed it 7 days ago, but could you please respond to the feedbacks that we sent you? That would be really helpful to my seller. And by the way, if I'm showing one of your houses and I ever forget for 7 days, you please reach out to me as well. Is that a win-win? Usually they're going to be, oh, I was just so busy. You know, anybody hear that one? That's great. By the way, also, you better have business cards when you're showing a damn house. Our job is to put a card down when we show a house. No exceptions. We good with that? The fact that I ran out of cards, not the right answer. Forgot them at home, none of that stuff. You should have in your car a stack of them at all times. If you carry a purse, you should have them there. I have them in my money clip just as a backup. I have 4 or 5 at all times just in case I don't have them with me. That's good business. But what's happening is you're finally getting that showing on that acreage that's got some of that, and the people, there's no feedback. You're sitting there waiting. Your seller's waiting. Yet that feedback timely could help you with this process. Hey, we really liked it, and the people see it. And guess what? If it lines up with what Sandy told them, that, we are in a little bit busier street, and that will be a deterrent for us, and they see that over and over again, it's going to make you sound like you knew what the hell you were talking about. Okay? It's kind of a win. Any more stories along those lines? You guys? How's that? Okay. Yeah. Please put on your listings that have that, please put that in the instructions that there is a Ring doorbell and the ability to watch and listen. That's just good business. So people, as a courtesy to the agent, they need to know that so they can have their conversations elsewhere, that sort of thing. By the way, people, even when you tell them that, they'll still talk all kinds of smack. It's kind of, yeah. All right, so think external obsolescence. It can be so many unique things that you just don't think about, and it can make the house finish second. And sloppy neighbors is a big one, guys. In these conforming subdivisions, not every house is kept up all that great. And I have no issues when we're listing one and I have one of those next door. I'll tell my seller, how well do you know those folks? Oh, they've been our neighbor forever. I know they live like pigs, but they're actually really nice. Cool, let's do them a favor. Will you go over there and tell them that your house is going on the market and you'd like to help them with a little cleanup project? Yeah. And guess what? They're gonna say yes. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I'm so sorry. All that. And you can even say, hey, my agent said it would help us a little bit if we could just kind of tidy up a little bit, just get us through the process. Then the new buyer will have to deal with them, right? Okay. But that's fair. That's a win-win. If you're dealing with that, don't hesitate to address what you can. Many times you're dealing with traffic and noise and those kind of things. There's nothing you can do. Okay. Last thing. Solar panels. Who sold a house with solar panels? Okay. Yeah. How's that going? All right. Should yeah.
Well, I did have one on Monday.
Okay.
And it had a 25-year-old roof and solar panels right on top of it. So it was a concern.
Yeah.
We had the roof looked at, the roof was good. They owed $30,000 on that solar panel. The appraiser came in and said it didn't add value and those have to be paid off. That was the condition. They have to be paid off at closing.
Yeah. So all the ones I've done, the solar panels are like a second mortgage on the house. Okay. So if there's 20 grand left on the 40,000 in solar panels or 30 or whatever they got sold, nothing to get as a solar guy here. Yeah. So here's what I'll tell you. Most of the time they're adding very little value. Okay. Sorry about that. That's just how it works. The higher priced houses, sometimes we'll see a little bit more incremental value, but most of them.
Yeah. And if it needed a new roof, oh, by the way.
Yeah. There's a whole nother level. Right.
We looked at the clause on this, and we had some young clients bought their first house and then put solar panels on it without calling their agent first. And they decided to go ahead and buy a $50,000 system on a $200,000 house that they were ready to pay on or ready to move in a handful of years. Well, good thing the market's been so great, they got to pay that off with a lot of the equity that they built up, so they just gave that back. We raised the price of the house maybe about 15 grand to try to offset some of it.
Mm-hmm.
We looked through their agreement with the company that sold them the panels, and it turns out they could transfer that payment over to the new owner. However, if the owner ever defaults, they are privy to come back to you at any time, wherever you are in the world, and find you and have you pay that off. And I said, don't let this ever bother you. Just bite the bullet and pay it off. You made a $50,000 error. We're going to get you maybe 15 grand out of it. For 35, you're just going to say okay with it. So they paid the system off at $50,000 on a $200,000 house. Tell me if they're not crooks or not.
Yeah, it ain't $30,000.
Good. We're getting some good stories here, John.
And that's a great point Ryan brings up, because the only time it's been different for us is on the one we're doing right now. It's got an owned solar panel system, so there's no debt to it. So that's the only time that we've seen it
Okay.
be a plus. Otherwise, we did two other ones that had it, just like Brian said. They
Yeah.
had to transfer it over, or they had to go basically pay that off.
Yeah. So all the ones I've sold, no exceptions.
Right.
Solar panels, the people, let's say, spent 30, there was 15 or 20 left on the debt. That was on my disclosed proceeds that we had to pay that off at closing, and that's how it went down. We got a counteroffer. Somebody in the office, and I don't know who it was, shared it with me. They sent an offer in on a property, and as part of the counteroffer back, the listing agent said, you'll assume the debt liability for the solar panels. So, and I was like, well, how much is left? And it was like 30,000. I'm like, oh, that's a brutal counteroffer. Yes, Teresa.
Yeah, I sold one a few years back, and I think the important thing to make sure our sellers understand is that an appraiser is not going to give you value
Not even
for
close.
those solar panels,
Yeah.
even though you did pay 50 grand or whatever for them. And that was really hard. And and I looked for comps and fought with the appraiser and all that stuff, and got a little bit more value, but you're not going to get much.
Yeah.
And so I think it's so important to prepare the sellers for that.
There's nothing wrong with solar panels. They're a long-term investment for your property, and if you can stay there long enough, you can justify it'll work out fine. It's good for the environment. That's all awesome, right? Win, win, win. I love all that. But from an investment standpoint, when we're trying to resell these houses, the average person is going to live there 8 years. That does not add up. I've yet to see a situation that does. I know the guys in the roofing business, they try to pitch it slightly differently, but it just is difficult for us. So when people say they have solar panels, ask a bunch of questions right away. When did you get them? Approximately what did you invest? What's remaining on it? Very often they paid cash for them. Okay, thank goodness. But then you're going to get into the valuation part where all the comps say 300, but they got solar panels, they want 330, and you're like, yeah, it doesn't quite work that way. And you're going to have that conversation. Some appraisers will give them some value. There's a lot of different variables that they have to look at there. Much like an in-ground pool. You go put 50, you're doing a pool right now. You go put 50, 60, for them, they're putting nothing in because they're doing it themselves probably. But the rest of us have to hire the pool guy, right? And we put a $60,000 pool in, and it might be worth 15 or 20 as far as an add-on if I were selling that house. But you get to enjoy the pool, you get to swim in it and all the cool memories. So there is something to that. But the solar panels, to me, they're not as warm and fuzzy as the pool, right? Anybody got a tan sitting by their solar panels? Probably not. Anything to add to that? The solar panel, yeah, Jake.
Sorry to verify this too, but one of my lenders said that the FHA would not allow you to take it over, even if it says so in the loan for the solar panel, if they can move that along or whatever. They said the FHA would not let them take on that additional debt.
Yep, Todd.
FHA actually has a solar program that we actually are doing. God has yet to do one. Where you can actually finance the solar panels.
Oh, yeah.
FHA solar. Yeah, so it's a cool deal, and I get pushed to put it out to people, but I'm not sure I see the benefit in solar panels, so I'm probably old school, and I'm like, eh.
Don't they give you like a grant or something like
Yeah,
that?
it's actually, you put it in the price of the house, and it's.
I thought that was to add solar. You can do that to
No,
pay off.
it's to put new solar on, yeah.
But
This is
if
for
I
new.
add solar, it won't. Okay.
Okay. So ask questions, guys, with solar panels and more, these guys are hustling solar panels and you see it on TV all the time. So we're going to be dealing with more and more of them. But when people try to, look at it as an investment, I've yet to see that work out. By the way, if you have solar panels on your house, it's all good. It's your choice. You're adult.
The financing part of solar panels doesn't have a lot of regulation yet. And so therefore people jump in that industry because it's easy. It's, candidly, it's not regulated like yours and mine is. So until that regulations come into play and they really stop some of the shenanigans, people will jump into it. And they'll keep selling $50,000 things on
Yeah.
$200,000.
Last comment, Sandy?
Well, then, if you think about once they're at the end of their life, where do you dispose of these things?
It's a whole nother problem.
That's $250 per panel.
Take it off and go dispose of it.
It's probably in that pile with all those TVs, those big TVs, right? It's all in the same pile. So congratulations, guys, on a really, really good April. We're getting our unfair share. We saw a piece of data yesterday. Our region, this greater Heartland region's 27 offices, is like 8th in the country. But for the size of our region, we're really number 1, which is really cool. But within our region, You guys are 30% more productive than the average agent in our region. 30% in this office. Nothing against OP and my buddy that owns OP. You guys are so much more productive on a per agent basis. Is not even funny. Yeah, there's some disadvantages to have 650 agents, as it turns out. Who knew, right? You guys got anything? Let's go sell something. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Do you have solar panels? Okay, see.
They just. My car was, no, my car wasn't that
You
bad.
probably put a lot down, I bet.
This is not my car. And it's so bothered. I had kids.
Solar panels?
Soccer bags.
Lacey's, any solar panels?
I work out.
Solar panels?
My life is not like this, but my car.
That surprised me. You guys always run into fun stuff like that. No?
He's like, wait, no, you're clear my seat. I gotta clear my seat. It's
Oh,
not-
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not food, but it's like, just papers and stuff and notebooks and papers, whatever. I'm like, oh, what's out here? My life is organized, but my car is kind of a disaster.
Okay. I didn't know like
Well, and my desk is